let's see. This is, of course, we should talk about the serious stuff down in Florida, because last week we were talking about, you had mentioned, of course, you do some work in Florida, and I was wondering how your friends and referral partners are doing.
Yeah, we were thinking a lot about them last week, right? Because it had just hit the west coast of Florida, Fort Myers and Sanibel Island, and all of those folks are displaced. And we've been keeping in touch with folks that we work with. But what I'd love to segue into, Rob, is the concept of a public insurance adjuster. Wall Street Journal today reported that they predict an influx of lawsuits, a massive amount of lawsuits, of finger pointing, one insurance company pointing the finger at the other. This was a flood event. No, this was a hazard event. This was homeowners insurance. So, whether you were underinsured, most people, unfortunately, don't actually look at their insurance policy until there's a claim, right? So a tragic event such as this, I know I pay my insurance every month, so I'm good, but are you good? Right? What does your policy actually say? What is it actually covering? And what's it not covering? Right? That's the important factor. So we encourage folks to immediately get in touch with a public adjuster. That's somebody for you. That's a professional that's looking out for your best interests, right? We talk about professional teams all the time. We don't want anyone figuring it out on their own, do it yourself, when there's wonderful professionals out there. You wouldn't wire your house without an electrician, right? You hire the professional plumber when you need it. You don't try to figure it out, right? The same thing with a real estate agent. We've talked about that. Selling your home by yourself. It doesn't make financial sense, and it certainly will draw every last bit of energy out of you. And it's not a good experience. And there's professionals that do this, and they get paid for the service that they do. And a lot of people don't know about these folks, these public insurance adjusters. When there's a fire, when there's a tragedy, when there's an event like Ian, people who know about them make sure that their friends hear about them. And we actually did 2 podcasts on my podcast. We've talked about this a few times, Rob, the Elements of Styles podcast that you can find anywhere that you consume podcasts. And we talk with business professionals and entrepreneurs and such. And I've interviewed 2 public adjusters because I think it's that important that people understand that the insurance company, although they're going to protect you, they're in business. They're in business to make a profit. And when they're in there to make a profit, they're going to limit as much as they possibly can of money they're paying out. So you bring in a public adjuster and you play offense, right? With the football analogies, what's going on this weekend with homecoming and high school football, you're playing defense if you rely on your insurance company to help you with this. You're okay with what they say. You're accepting what they're saying, where with a public adjuster, they're working for you and pushing for you. They're reviewing the policy for you. They're getting all of the settlement money that you will need to rebuild. And we have a lot of friends down there. We had one of our public adjusters, Kevin Jordan, on a boat with one of our clients going to see their home yesterday. It was the first day that Sanibel Island was allowing people onto the island. They had been actually patrolling the island from looters, right? Because it's an island and the pirates could show up and go loot the island, right?
Wow.
So they had been protected, and no homeowners had been allowed to go back to their homes until yesterday. And Kevin jumped on the boat with our client who bought in Sanibel Island, and they're getting the process going. And hopefully by doing so, they're going to stay out of those lawsuits, right? Where people are fighting, right? Being proactive, so you're not forced to be reactive. They sign on, these folks. These folks get paid a commission because they're providing a service. Similar to a real estate agent who provides that service gets a commission of 5 or 6%. Public adjusters receive 10%. So 10% of what you've received, which is probably 90% more than you would have gotten if you tried working on this by yourself. Obviously, those numbers are throwing out there, but you pay for the professional services similarly to any other profession that, again, electricians wiring your house. You're going to have to pay for the professional to do that. And when you need these folks, you need these folks. And I'm hoping to get the word out that they exist, right? I didn't know much about them until I interviewed the first one, Jeff Sable. So Jeff Sable and Kevin Jordan.
He's been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, so they're both on my podcast talking more in depth about it. So I encourage people to check it out because we do have storms here and we have losses and damage. And it's better to be playing offense in those scenarios, being proactive, right, versus being reactive and waiting for someone to tell you what you're going to get.
All right. Well, important stuff to think about and to talk about and to know about. And that's what we talk about on this segment in Feel Good Friday. Mark points us in the right direction to talk with the professionals that know about these specific areas. And over at Styles Law, that's what Mark has. He has a great team of people, and he also has, as well as mentioned, some great podcasts and YouTube videos, right?
That's right. So you can check out our videos. They're kind of frequently asked question FAQs at Styles Law on YouTube, Styles Law Original. Plenty of videos there. We're going to do one on public adjusters this afternoon for this weekend's video. And the podcast I mentioned, Elements of Styles. If you're into that, there's no video. It's all audible. And we're talking to folks, professionals that do various things that are in this community. So check that out. And if you're looking for any form of a professional, there's probably one. We're almost at episode 100, Rob. We've been doing this a couple of years now. Yeah.
Well, check it out. Okay, good stuff. All right. Well, let's see. Again, online, you can find everything by going to Mark's site at styles-law.com, styles-law.com, and they can also give you a phone call as well, right?
That's right. You could call 781-319-1900. Again, 781-319-1900, and our concierge will get you in touch with the right person to help you with whatever it is you need help with.
Feel Good Friday on a beautiful Friday. Mark Styles, Styles Law, every week at this time. Mark, thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Have a great weekend, everybody. A long weekend, too.
Long weekend. Enjoy it.
Enjoy it.